Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In this particular video, we are going to discuss about another development that is coming from Bangladesh, where it seems that the interim government of Bangladesh led by Muhammad Yunus is trying to increase its or strengthen its bilateral relationship with China. In another event, Muhammad Yunus has stated that we want to be your partner, referring to China, and also he has urged a stronger Bangladesh-China ties. So let us try to understand what is this entire development all about. Now, recently, a large-scale Chinese investment in Bangladesh is something that Muhammad Yunus, interim advisor to the interim government of Bangladesh, has clearly stated upon, where he has said that such a large-scale investment in Bangladesh as he want can be a game changer for the economy of the country as such. Chinese companies, Yunus has stated, are the masters of manufacturing across the globe, and we want to be your partner. This is a clear message that he is trying to give in or give to China. So, if you try to understand, this entire message has come amidst China-Bangladesh Conference on Investment and Trade that was held on 1st of June in the capital city of Bangladesh, that is Dhaka. And this particular event has seen participation of Wang Wentao, who is the Commerce Minister of China. So, actually referring to Commerce Minister of China is the statement that Muhammad Yunus has given here. Now, talking about the area of cooperation, he has stated that if you talk about Bangladesh today, it is the country with one of the highest population of youth members or workforce, we can say, and thus tens of millions of young Bangladeshis are eager for meaningful employment to showcase their skills. So basically, what is the message Muhammad Yunus is trying to give is that China has the ability to create employment by setting up economic hubs or manufacturing hubs as such, and within these manufacturing hubs, there will be participation of millions and millions of young Bangladeshi workforce. So it will create employment for the Bangladeshi people, and also China can take advantage of low cost of manufacturing in Bangladesh as such. So Bangladesh stands on the cusp of what he refers as a transformative era, and our interim government has been steadfast with implementing reforms aimed at enhancing the investment climate as such. So what we can try to understand that in recent time, Bangladesh also, especially Muhammad Yunus, has faced a lot of political uncertainties, because it seems that the Bangladeshi army also do not agree with the way how Muhammad Yunus is conducting the foreign affair policy of the Bangladesh. Also, he has talked about resigning in possible future, and also there is a huge pressure being exerted on him to conduct free and fair elections as soon as possible. Now, because of this internal political differences and problems, he might be showing to the people of Bangladesh that he is working in their interest, and that is why he is giving this kind of statement where he seems to portray himself as a messiah of the unemployed people of Bangladesh, where he is trying to create a positive investment climate where people can find job, and thus he is trying to again gain support and vote of the youth workforce of the particular of Bangladesh as such. Now, if you look at the conference that was held, this conference is not or was not held at the first time. It has been held earlier as well, but this is considered as a historical occasion for Bangladesh by the interim government, because also this conference is coming up in that year when Bangladesh and China both are celebrating 50th anniversary of the friendship or enduring friendship, as he has referred as. Not only that, it is for the first time in this conference Bangladesh has stated that so many high, such a high number of Chinese business delegation has been hosted by Bangladesh, and also it has seen a participation of large number of companies. Many of the companies are basically well known and of repute as such. Now, the need to build a future that aspires to reach new height. This is what is the outcome Muhammad Yunus has tried to gain from this particular summit, highlighting the shared potential of Bangladesh and China as such. So this is how Bangladesh is trying to portray the changing relationship between Bangladesh and China, where it clearly seems that now Bangladesh is drifting away from its dependence, and not only dependence, but we can say the better relationship that had enjoyed in the past with India, and now it is looking more toward China and Pakistan as such. At least this is the gist of the foreign policy that Muhammad Yunus has followed after coming into power to the ouster of Sheikh Hasina's regime as such. Now, when talking about Bangladesh-China cooperation, let us try to understand Bangladesh-China trade and then try to compare the India-Bangladesh trade. Now, we talk about the evolution of Bangladesh-China trade. We can see in the last few years, overall the value of trade has remained almost similar. It increased in 22, 23, 24, and again it has further reduced in year 2025 as such. So basically, we try to understand again the import from China to Bangladesh is much more higher as compared to Bangladesh's export to China. So that means Bangladesh basically enjoys a current account deficit in this particular case. If you look at the most recent year 2024, we can see that Bangladesh has imported total goods of worth $16.63 billion from China and just has exported $0.71 billion of goods. So total trade value, if you try to understand, it stands somewhere about $17.23 billion as such. Now, if you look at India-Bangladesh trade, similar kind of landscape you see in the case of India-Bangladesh trade as well, where India exports more to Bangladesh than what it imports from country as such. So, if you look at the India's import in year 2024, India has imported just $1.9 billion of goods from Bangladesh, and at the same time, it has exported $11.5 billion worth of goods to Bangladesh. So, India also enjoys a trade surplus of almost $9.6 billion. So, one thing that is similar between both Bangladesh China trade and Bangladesh India trade is that Bangladesh is a country that enjoys trade deficit with both the nations. Again, in the cases of export and import, it seems that the apparel is a major sector where bilateral cooperation Bangladesh is seeking or has sought from, both in the case of China as well as in the case of India as such. Now, obviously, Bangladesh and the government of Bangladesh is trying to portray that it is working in the interest of people as such, but also Bangladesh has to be aware about the dangerous game they are playing with the dragon as such, because as you know, China has already clearly, it has stated and it has followed the policy of what we can call as a string of pearls, where China is trying to develop dual purpose projects across the entire Indian Ocean region. And also, many of the countries who were dependent on, who had trusted China to develop projects such as infrastructure projects, they seem to be trapped in a debt which they cannot repay in time as such. So, there is a very high chance that if Bangladesh follows the same models as other countries of the Asia and Africa, they can very well get trapped in the debt trap or in the debt of China as such. Now, a few countries, if you take a look at, for example, Vanuatu, which is a small island country here in the Central Pacific Ocean. Here, Bangladesh has provided about $54 billion or $54 million of assistance to build infrastructure. Similarly, Myanmar is another country where Bangladesh is trying to create what is called as CMEC, China-Myanmar Economic Corridor, which is worth about $10 billion as such, including development of port and industrial park. Similarly, we have Djibouti, that is a country in Africa. Sri Lanka, very close to India, it is also struggling to pay back $8 billion of debt that had incurred to the Chinese companies and Chinese government as such. Pakistan, as you know, already is trapped because of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor passing from Gwadar port, then through the Balochistan region, and then through the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and further to Xinjiang region of China as such. So, all the countries that if you look, whether they are in Africa, whether it is in Asia, whether it is in the Central Pacific Ocean, they trusted China with the infrastructure development, and now it seems that they cannot get out of the debt trap, and same situation we can see in the Bangladesh as well. Now, if we try to understand this particular development or strengthening of relationship between Bangladesh and China has come when the interim government led by Muhammad Yunus seems to have taken and pursued a foreign policy that appears to be distancing itself from New Delhi, that is India, and fostering closer ties with Beijing and Islamabad as such. Now, this change in relationship is not only what we see in the economic sphere, this change we are also seeing in the political security sphere as well. And many times, India has clearly stated its concern with the kind of controversial remark that was given by Muhammad Yunus when he visited China. For example, when Muhammad Yunus visited China, he has stated that the northeastern state of India are landlocked state. They do not have any access to ocean as such, and also he has portrayed Bangladesh as the sole guardian of Indian Ocean, specifically in the Bay of Bengal region. So all this kind of statement largely threaten the internal security of India, because here we know that India is dependent on the chicken's neck that is connecting a Siliguri corridor, also it is called as, that connects the mainland India with the northeastern India and such. And recently Bangladeshi government has given a directive to its military to reactivate Lal Monirhat Air Force Base that was defunct and was not in operational condition. So, inviting China nearby borders of India, creating what we can call as non-conducive condition where bilateral ties between both countries have suffered, and also activating of air force bases And also we have seen a statement that come from the one of the politicians of Bangladesh, when India launched Operation Sindoor, that Bangladesh should attack India if India attacks Pakistan as such. So such kind of remarks we have seen coming from Bangladesh as such, that clearly state that Bangladesh is now trying to kowtow to Pakistan as well as China as such. Now, obviously, due to the decline in the trade relationship between India and Bangladesh, India also has responded by banning by banning any kind of trade export from Bangladesh to third country using the integrated check post of Bangladesh or integrated check post of India as such. So several restrictions, severe restrictions have been imposed on the Bangladeshi export as such. Now, industrial growth in northeastern states suffers a triple jeopardy due to the imposition of unreasonably high and economically unviable transit charges by Bangladesh. So government of India has responded in kind, and also now Bangladesh do not have access to the transshipment hubs using which it used to export its goods to the other countries, largely in US, UK and European Union as such. Also, we have to understand that all this development is coming at a time where the interim government led by Muhammad Yunus is facing and witnessing a showdown with army. Now, in recent times, we have seen that the Bangladeshi Army Chief General Waqar Uzzaman has given a statement where it seems that he has blamed Muhammad Yunus for not putting enough effort to make the country better after the ouster of Sheikh Hasina last year. Now, we know that in the August 2024, Sheikh Hasina has to flee when a large-scale protest erupted against her government, and since then she has taken refuge and a political asylum in India as such. Bangladesh already has asked to extradite her so that she can face the judiciary and justice in her country, but India has not agreed with it. Now, try to understand, tensions with the interim government and Bangladesh army have kept on growing in last few months. Here also, Bangladeshi army has criticized the interim government for excluding the military from important decision-making processes. For example, Bangladeshi government under Muhammad Yunus was trying to create a refugee corridor through the Myanmar-Bangladesh border area, which Bangladeshi army has clearly said that it is not willing to or agree to such kind of corridor as such. So this is one example of the rift that we are seeing growing between the political and military sphere or the military wing of the government. Now we see, or we have seen in the cases of Pakistan or in Bangladesh in the past, that whenever the condition arises when the government, the civilian government cannot function and agree with the military, in that case we have seen a coup taking place in both the countries and such. So this was also a risk that Bangladesh had faced few months ago, where there was a large scale news coming up about a coup that is planned by Bangladesh military against the government as such. So it seems that as long as Muhammad Yunus is in charge of interim government, as long as there is no free and fair elections, such kind of policy and such kind of migration from being a strong partner and reliable partner with India, now Bangladesh is trying to shift its gear and becoming a partner with China and Pakistan would continue as such. So that is all about this particular video. I hope you got the gist behind the recent decision of Bangladeshi government to attract Chinese investment, the rationale and reason behind it. If you like the video, please hit the like button, share it with fellow aspirants, and subscribe to our channel for more such content. Thank you very much.